simply because she liked the sound. Unable to stand rain's somber still, Claude's gusty howls often turned the lough into a heaving mass that dumped upon the shore like a drum. Ignos was a glutton for Claude. The god of fire feasted on her, consumed her, loved her so much he could not breathe without her. His searing song was one of ferocious hunger and impassioned greed, but Claude could not be tamed by his rabid affections, even as he blazed jungles and gave her smoke to dance within, even as he melted bits of Baldur's stone until they were molten rivers of red, desperate to woo Claude with volcanic blasts that shook the sky. Bound to his mournful solitude, Caelus watched this all, jealous of the other creators for their ability to be seen, touched, or heard, but thankful to be part of something. Anything. And he watched in quiet wonder as, upon this lush and fertile canvas he'd gifted his emptiness, life bloomed. A various cacophony of folk who littered the land and snow and sand, some with hearing sharper than the tips of their ears, making them privy to the 4 other elemental songs, a number of whom learned their languages, spoke them, found power in them. Others fell upon a silver book some say Caelus wrote in his desperation to be heard, who found a different form of power in those runes nobody could read or pronounce, discovering that the strange markings could be wielded, could mend bones, charm blood, glamour objects. Many beings filled all corners of the world, but none the creators were more proud of than the great winged beasts that lorded over the sky. The dragons. Upon the seemingly uninhabitable crown of the burn, where the sun's harsh rays bubbled skin into fleshy welts, the saber scythes thrived. Big, bulky beasts with black and bronze and ruddy scales, with ferocious aptitudes that could not be matched. They made Gondra their spawning ground. Some folks were brave enough to venture close, to raid a nest and snatch an egg. Brave or stupid. Less volatile than their distant kin, the molten maws found their home in the Fade, in Bog Gith, a foggy scrap of marshland that gobbled almost everything in muddy sulfuric burps. Their honed beaks were sharp enough to slash, their claws just as severe, veiled with feathers as colorful as the ever-vibrant sky in their part of the world. No 2 molten maws bore the same glorious palette. To steal a molten maw's egg, one also needed to be brave or stupid, but perhaps a little less. Netherin, however, was almost impossible to raid, the chosen spawning ground of the ethereal and cunning moon plumes. Being farthest from the sun, Netherin was the darkest crown of the shade, bearing a cold so deep it could turn the blood of most common folk slow and sludgy. But not the moon plumes, with their luminous, leathery skin so chill to the touch, with their long, silky tails and eyes a crush of glitter and ink. Tucked amongst snow and ice and a hungry quiet that swallowed sounds, then spat them out like a warning roar, the moon plumes flourished, growing in number, strength, and brilliance. Only those as unhinged as Claude or bearing enough power to protect themselves would attempt to steal a moon plume egg. Most failed, consumed by the fearsome, thrashing beasts or the hostile land. Some succeeded, a celebrated few who used the dragons to wage wars for sprouting kingdoms. But as castles grew taller than mountains, and as kings and queens decorated their crowns with bigger, sparklier jewels, so too did folk learn how to shed dragon blood.